Hey everyone, Steve Mitchell here, Realtor in Toronto with Lepage signature. I am unilaterally going to declare January to be condo month. Why? Because, well, backyards are pretty useless with weather like that out there. Let's talk about condos. Condos are probably going to be right for you at some point in your life. Or maybe not, but if you're even thinking about them, if you're condo curious, well, here's a bunch of ways in which you can buy smarter. I'm going to lay them out. I'm going to focus on things that are not about, well, make sure you get the best price per square foot, or make sure the fee isn't too high and all that sort of stuff. That's all important, those kind of metrics, and I help my clients cover them off really well. But I'm going to concentrate on some of the things you might not be thinking about so much and help you with those. Second thing I want to mention is we're resale focused only here. So that means existing condos. Not going to cover pre-construction, not going to cover assignments. Those are different kettles of fish. And we're just going to focus on resale. So without further ado, let's go into the top 10 ways to make a smarter condo purchase. Okay, number one is location. Sounds obvious, right? Location, location, location. But, what you may be saying is, oh, I could live here, Midtown. I could live a little more toward Yorkville. I could live actually, up in North York Center. And you know what? Harborfront's nice. No, you're not really open to all of them equally. You might think they're all good. That's fine. But there's one location that you're gravitating toward much more than the others. So, by focusing on just one area, and there are a lot of condo buildings in these cluster areas. If you said to me, I have to live at Bathurst and Finch, there's far fewer choices. But if you say you downtown or midtown, well, there's a ton of condos in both places. And so unless we focus on your number one choice, let's start there and see if we can make it happen. There's a ton of buildings there. If we spread our attention and split our attention, we're going to miss stuff, and you're going to have like a ton of listings pouring into your inbox and just easy to overlook things. So focus is key. And if you say, hey, we got to move, I got to be in Yorkville, let's try to make it happen. It's the most expensive area in the city, but let's see what we can do there. At least it's a focus. Okay, the second point is what I like to call micro location. So within a location, let's say Yonge and Bloor or Yorkville, there's going to be a little bit of variance in terms of exactly where in that pocket. And you may prefer some over the other. Or you might be okay with all of them, but just definitely not this one because it's too trafficy, too noisy, not the stores you want, whatever it may be. So that's really important. Or, you want to be over on this corner because it's close to a nice park or your favorite restaurant. Whatever it is, micro location matters as well. Okay, going even tighter and still is suite position within the building and floor. Exposure, which way are you facing, natural light, all that stuff often matters to folks. Noise level too. If you're really, really high up, it probably doesn't matter that you're facing over a busy street. But if you're anywhere midway down, you're going to hear traffic. If you're all right with that, that's great. But maybe you prefer something that is facing the other way. The next one is building and community character or cachet. What's the percentage of renters? What are the demographics? Do you see a lot of old people in the lobby, young people, people in the middle, delivery drivers, whatever it is? That's going to tell you something about the community you're buying into, and that's what condos are. One might be great for you, the other maybe not so much. Maybe you want a little quieter life, maybe you want a little more active scene and the feeling of youth. There's a condo for everyone, and for every condo, there's a buyer. But you just got to have a match between what you want to have your life be and what the building is going to kind of feel like. Okay, next is floor plan, and this is critical. So look past outdated finishes and appliances and all that stuff. That can all be changed. Look at the floor plan, the basic layout of the suite, the separation of rooms, the proportions of rooms. Sometimes you can move a wall, but in a condo, not always. So don't count on, reconfiguring everything wildly. So just after I said at the top that I'm not really going to talk about fees, let me talk about fees for a second. in a different way. Don't look at the absolute number. Look at the details. The devil's in the details. What are you getting for your dollar? And a dollar, by the way, is a useful benchmark for all utility inclusive buildings. Now, it's not like it's a law. You can have fees above $1 and you're still getting decent value. You can have fees below $1 and you're still getting poor value. But just look at what's included and what is the fee in total that you can carry in your financial calculations related to your mortgage. I can help you with a mortgage broker, and maximum fee payable will also figure into how much mortgage you can carry. So it's kind of both. It's the absolute level, but it's also what are you getting? And if you're getting a lot and it's a big suite, guess what? That fee is not going to be like $500. It's going to be, $1 a square foot. 1,300 square foot suite, $1,300 fee. Next is see the future. Is there an empty lot next door where there's going to be a building going up in your face? Is the building pretty new and it hasn't settled and found its community? This is another important one. There's lots of condos on Bay Street, which will remain unnamed, that, in the marketing initially, they look like they were glorious luxury lifestyle palaces, and they've become de facto dormitories for the University of Toronto because it's so handy, and I guess to a lesser extent, Toronto Metropolitan University. So, think about that. Where are things going? Is the building settled? What's happening around it? And what kind of construction might you have to live through right next door? Next up, visitor parking, and this parking in general, really. Count up the number of visitor spaces and compare it to the total number of suites in the building. Now, there's not a hard and fast formula, but 1 to 10 should be safe. Okay, 1 visitor parking space for every 10 suites. But it has a lot to do also with the character of the building and the demographics. Some buildings are going to have a lot of visitor parking being used. I would say older demographic buildings are going to skew more toward that. There's caregivers coming, family, that sort of thing. Whereas a building full of younger residents may not have that same demand for visitor parking. But make sure there's a reasonable amount of visitor parking, and make sure it's fairly accessible. And check out the parking spot on the particular listing you're looking at too. That's another key thing. Just check out parking like it's part of the suite, because it is. Chat up concierges and residents. Pump them for intel. You're there visiting the building. The listing only says so much. The listing agent and me are only going to tell you so much. Let's have a conversation with the concierge. You talk to somebody in the elevator on the way up to the suite. How do you like it here? How long you been here? Whoa, usually they have very good things to say, but not always. So it's always good to take advantage of that insider info. And my last tip for this video is visit the unit at least twice before making an offer. This isn't 2021 anymore, folks, okay? Average time on the market in central Toronto for a condominium is 30 days plus now. So there's almost never any crazy urgency to buy as soon as you see it or throw in an offer right away. If it looks good to you, let's go over it, sleep on it, go back the next day if it's really appealing to you, and really go over it with a fine-tooth comb and check it out. It's like, this is the biggest purchase of your life. You don't want to rely on just one visit. And the good news is, right now, you almost never have to. When you go back on that second visit, see the parking that's attached to the units. Where's the spot? Is it accessible? Are there problems getting to it? See the locker. How big is it? Where is it near? Can you find it? Is it easy to get to? And the visitor parking and everything else about the building, the pool, the gym, all that stuff. If you didn't see the amenities on the first visit, then for sure use that second visit to check out the whole building, because you're not going to be living in your suite all the time. You're paying all those fees. You might as well enjoy the entire property. Hey, I hope you found these 10 tips useful. Buying a condo is just like buying any property. You want to really think it through even before you get in the car. As always, I'm here for you throughout all 2025 and beyond. Give me a call if you have any questions, no matter how preliminary. Steve Mitchell here. Let's make your next real estate experience remarkable. Take care.